Okay, I guess I'll start with a little background. Was fit most of my life up until about 21, 22 years old. Settled down, started a family. Um, kind of fell into the go to work, come home, spend time with your family, sit and watch TV, play board games. Not much in the way of outdoor activities, zero exercise. Just trying to be a good family man, trying to stay home, be available, be involved, but not doing any things I did as a kid, playing ball, running around, exercising, whatever the case may be. I was a swimmer in high school. I stopped swimming altogether, with the exception of a few opportunities when we went to the beach. And that didn't happen all that often. Um, as time went on, the weight got more and more excessive. Um, I guess I got to about 275 pounds. Actually, I ran a little far ahead. At like 24, 25 years old, my brother had started a low carb diet, and I was interested because I saw the results he was having, so I jumped on with him, and it was great for me. I got down to like 175, 180 pounds. I looked great. I felt great. Um, but what I realized almost immediately after I reached my goal was I wasn't going to be able to sustain it. I didn't want to lose any more weight, and to stay as strict as I was, would have lost more weight, and I wouldn't have been a healthy look, or it probably wouldn't have been healthy for me. My experience, obviously. So I started to introduce carbs and started to introduce this and that, and I got the mindset that my body was burning better and I could eat what I wanted to do and do what I wanted to do. I wasn't exercising; it was just strictly weight loss from dieting. Uh, that ended horribly because as soon as I started to reintroduce the carbs, the Doritos snuck back in, the ice cream snuck back in, the popcorn snuck back in. I say snuck back in, but I made conscious decisions to eat these things that I probably shouldn't be eating. Fast forward a few years, I'm 20, no, excuse me, I'm 36, 35, 36 years old. I am 5'9" and 275 pounds. I won't go into the bitter details, but I ended up getting sick. Um, Went to the doctor, gave me my diagnosis, blah, blah, blah. I needed to make changes. So the low carb thing had worked for me before, so I did, of my own variation of Atkins. I started going to the gym. Started doing. First, I started going to the local parks and doing wind sprints and dips on the bleacher benches, and finally, for the first time in 30 years, I was working out. I was exercising. I started going to the gym, doing with um, the gym had a program where when you first sign up, somebody would walk around with you, show you the machines, teach you a workout program, and it gave you a sheet. You follow the sheet day by day, and then as I got comfortable, I got my own workout program going. And I got into really good shape. Um, and it was great. And then because I was working out, I could reintroduce certain carbs after I got to my goal weight. I got down to like 180 pounds, which at that point was too thin because my bone structure had changed. Um, you when you're dieting, losing weight, and making all these changes, just like when you look in the mirror when you're overweight, you don't necessarily see it in the mirror. There's some kind of disconnect between what is real and what you're actually seeing. At 275 pounds, before I got sick, I looked in the mirror and I looked normal to me. I looked, there was nothing, I didn't see anything that was horrendous. Um, and again, on the flip side, I started losing weight and I got down to 100. My goal was 175 because that's what I was in high school. And I figured, if I was 175 and healthy then, 175 would be healthy now. And I hadn't seen my brother, who, I said it was my kind of the one who walked me through the process. He's the one that talked me into once I got my diagnosis, got me healthy. It got me on the mindset that pills and all those things are, although they were necessary at the time, it's not something I want to be on for life. So I worked out, restricted my diet, which is kind of a bad combination unless you're taking the right calories. But I got down to 180 pounds, and I hadn't seen my brother in a few months because he was a very busy guy working, and I was working, so on and so forth. So he shows up at my front door one day, I open the door, and his reaction was staggering. He didn't look at me and say, congratulations. He didn't look at me and say, oh, good work, you're really doing it. He looked at me, whoa, you're too skinny. You gotta pump your brakes, dude. You gotta put a few pounds back on. You're too skinny. You don't look good. And for whatever reason, he said that, and I looked in the mirror and I saw it. I don't know if he turned the light switch on for me or what it was, but it wasn't until he said it that I looked in the mirror and I saw that my face was a little sunken, and I just wasn't healthy looking. So, believe it or not, I added like avocado and a couple of healthy choices as far as into my routine of eating, and I got up to like 194 pounds and I put it all on the muscle. So, great, right? I'm in shape, I'm exercising, everything's fantastic, life is good, I feel good. I'm following the low carb. The downside is, as it happens with low carb, my cravings never went away. You know, every time I went to a barbecue or a party or any type of event where I wasn't able to control the menu, I'd be staring at the macaroni and cheese, licking my lips. I'd be staring at the potato chips. I'd be staring at the popcorn. I'd be staring at somebody else eating a burger with the regular bread on it. Because, you know, wheat bread and rye bread and all that is fine. I don't mind eating it. But it's not Wonder Bread. Let's be realistic. And that's what I grew up eating. I grew up eating white bread, Wonder Bread, whatever the name brand is that you take home. It has a different texture, a different way it breaks down your mouth, a different flavor. Just, to me, it was always better. I could never understand. I was feeling healthier. I was feeling thinner. I looked better. I was attracting all kinds of attention on the street. Look, yeah, I was married. I was in relationships or whatever the case was. But it feels good to attract attention. It feels good, and you know when you're walking down the street and you turn somebody's head. You know, you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to chase it. It's a little boost of confidence. So that's all the experience I was having, except these cravings were killing me. Lo and behold, I get up one morning to go to work. I was, to my own personal diagnosis, this isn't anything a doctor said. I was drinking probably 2 or 3 green teas, boiled green teas, no milk, no sugar, because I felt like my family carries a lot of water because of our dietary issues. So I knew I was carrying a lot of water. So I was, at the beginning of the diet, I started drinking a lot of green tea, and I enjoyed it. So I never really got away from it. Got up the morning to go. I had started a new job. I got up early to, I was excited and couldn't wait to get to work. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go into the bathroom. I go to pee, and the room starts spinning. And I'm thinking it's because of my diagnosis. So I'm doing things to halt that. And it's not what I need to be doing. What I needed was a glass of water. And it's the only thing I didn't do. I was wrapping towels around my neck to cool myself down because I broke out into a sweat. I knew that I was going to go down if I didn't figure something out. And called out to my then wife. And as soon as I got her, I said, help me. And down I went. Concussion. My foot was under the door that I had opened, so I twisted my knee. I broke my toe. Typical, 37-year-old crash. And it's not like you're 15. You don't bounce anymore. Things shatter. So I didn't tear it. I didn't break my knee. I didn't dislocate. I think I just tore ligaments, whatever. But it was fixable without surgery. Just needed time and relaxed, and that put me on the couch for, it put me out of commission as far as my workout. Now, my brother told me, he said, go to the gym, do upper body, limp your way in, find a machine you can sit down, and just do your goodbye. And my response was, no, you know, because maybe a little depression because I just hurt myself, or maybe laziness, or maybe stupidity. I'll just take a break, let my knee heal, and then I'll come back full force. Well, I was probably 30, 38, 39 at the time. And like I said, 194 pounds, really getting some good muscle tone. The muscles here were starting to show, my shoulders, my chest, everything was starting to come together. My stomach was getting flatter and flatter. I was hoping to see maybe some definition in my stomach someday between my diet and the exercise program. And yeah, I'll take a break. I'll get right back into it. Well, now I'm 48 years old, and I never got back into it. Now, I've skipped a bunch of different things. I've tried multiple diets. I've done juice fasts. I did, you know, I did 7-day juice fast. I did 10-day juice fast. I think the furthest I went 27 days, and they were great. I enjoyed the experience. It was very interesting. It wasn't at the time. I wasn't doing the juice fast so much for weight loss, which was a nice benefit, but I did it to kind of dust off my willpower, see what I was capable of, see if I could go through something that was a struggle and get through it okay. So that was kind of my thinking. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was looking forward to the weight loss, but it wasn't my only motivation. So that's basically the ins and outs of different things I tried. I've tried a day or two here with different things that I knew weren't going to work for me, and like I said, the most success I had as far as initial success. I don't want to say initial success because I was working out for a year or two. It felt great. Everything was great. But as soon as a kink hit the system, you know, I started eating the carbs again. I started, you know, little by little you break away. You think, oh, my body's transformed. It'll burn better, so I could eat these things now. And just, for me, it wasn't true. For me, once I put the sugar in my mouth, or the potato chip, or the different variations of how they make sugar, once I put it in my mouth, it was a downhill slide, and there was no stopping it. And it would just get worse and worse and worse, and ultimately caused me multiple health problems. I'll get into those in other videos if this progresses. So that's kind of the background story. I went from being a healthy, fit, very active teenager, early 20s, 2021, to, you know, being a I don't want to say a couch potato, because I was active in my house. I didn't just sit around watching TV. I would help clean the house. I would, you know, do dishes, hang out with my kids, you know, throw the ball around, you know, stuff like that. But nothing that would, if I started to break a sweat, back in the house, you know, all right, we're good for today. Let's go do something else, or, you know, change the program. You know, being an adult, I had that power. You know, all right, we're done this for now. Let's go do something else. So now I'm 48. At the time I discovered this new thing I'm doing, I was 230 pounds. I lost some weight here and there by making slight diet modifications. I started a new relationship, and she is much better at keeping me out of the refrigerator in between meals. So I guess I got up to like 255 pounds. I was higher than that at some points. At some points I was 270, whatever, but I kind of hung tough at 255 for a while. So that's where I'm going to make my starting point as far as this story goes. So this part of the story. So 255, me and my girlfriend get together. She starts doing all the cooking, and just, you know, meals are pretty first thing in the morning, mid of the day, dinner time. She's cooking just enough for us to eat, not to have seconds and thirds. Just her normal routine benefited me. You know, I don't know that she was necessarily doing this to benefit me, but, you know, I'll take free benefits if that's the way it happens. So I went down from 255 to 230. Now, it was a little spooky, because at about I'd say 240, 243 pounds, I started eating like crap again. The stuff she controlled, she could, but I worked nights. So I was bringing food with me to work, and I was buying stuff at work, and the candy bars, and the popcorn, and the snacks, and going to the deli for their greasy burgers and fatty sandwiches, and just things I shouldn't be eating. Not that their food is greasy and fatty. I was picking the greasiest and the fattiest of the foods. Because, let's be realistic, they're delicious. So, wrapped in carbs, dipped in carbs, carb sauce, just everything. So now, I'm on YouTube, on social media, goofing around, and I stumble across Joe Rogan interview. Not him being interviewed, Joe Rogan interviewing Jordan Peterson. By the way, Jordan Peterson, the man. And he says to Jordan Peterson, so you're doing this carnivore diet? What's that about? And he explains it in only a way Jordan Peterson can explain things. He says, I eat beef, salt, and water, and I never cheat. And at first I was like, well, this guy's a little intense. That's a little crazy. And then I listened to him. And through listening to him, he explained to me that he was healthier. He was clearer-minded. He had less specific health problems. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to go into those details. You know what I mean? But he spoke of it as his experience. He said, first thing he says, look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a dietitian. I'm speaking to you as an uninformed citizen. And that resonated with me, that he wasn't, oh, well, yeah, I do this and I have a book. Let me sell you the book. Or I do this and, I have this product that'll help you burn fat. To me, as soon as you do that, you take away your validity, and I stop listening. If you're doing something for the hell of doing it, great. If you're doing it and you incorporate selling something to me, or if you wait to the end of the video, I'll tell you about the plan I started. I'm out. I can't do it, can't watch, can't listen. Even if I stay and stare at the screen just to try and get any tidbit of information that you might have that might be worthwhile, I'm only vaguely listening. So anyway, he mentions this carnivore diet, and it strikes my interest. But it was a quick strike, and it rambled around the back of my mind, but I wasn't really putting much thought into it. And then every once in a while, I would stumble across another video where he talked about it, and then a different video where he mentioned it, and it just kept it fresh in my mind. Then, I guess, a little over a month ago, I'm talking to my brother again. And my brother had since retired. He moved to a different state. And what are you doing? No. Oh, have you seen the pictures I sent? Yeah, you look, his life had progressed. Different things had happened. I don't want to talk too much about his personal information on here, but he was thinner. Not that he was ever in bad shape. He's a guy that stays at the gym. He takes good care of himself, but he had gotten bigger. And I guess for his own reasons, whether it was slowing him down or who knows, could be any number of reasons, he decided he needed to change. And one picture, he was, husky, not husky, but he was a big dude. He's almost 6 foot. He was probably 225, 230. I'm guessing, but you get the picture. The next picture was maybe a month or so later, and he's slender, he's fit. When he bends his arms, you can see the muscle in his arms. Not like a bodybuilder, but there was definition there when he was just standing with his arm bent, not flexing. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, dude, you look incredible. You look healthy as can be. Your skin looks good. My brother's 10 years older than me. In these pictures, he looks younger than me. So 10 or 11 years old, I think. But anyway, and he tells me I'm doing a carnivore diet, and he kind of breaks it down to me. And look, I trust him. He's never steered me wrong. He's never given me information that he didn't 100% believe to be true. And so I heard him. And I'll be honest with you, for weeks prior to that, because of my health issues and the way I was eating, I knew I was in a bad path. And it had been kicking around in my head for a month or so that if I didn't make a serious change, I was going to have a real problem. And I was going to reach a point where if I didn't turn back, it was going to be too late. And I didn't think I was too far from that. It could have been days, weeks, months, maybe years, but it was on its way. I could see the boulder rolling down the mountain towards me. So I heard him out. Now it's deep in my mind. Now it's every day I'm thinking about it. Every time I put something in my mouth, I'm thinking about how stupid this is, and now I'm not doing anything to fix it. Now I'm not living my best life. I'm not. I can't move as good. At work. I can't work as hard. I'm struggling. Not still performing, but I'm just not where I consider to be 100%. Everybody else may or may not see it. I feel it. And I'm like that. I like if I'm physically, my job is a physical job. Lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling. It's got some very physical characteristics to it. And it was wearing me out a lot faster than I felt like it should. So one of the things my brother told me is my energy's back. I can run. I can play. I'm energetic. So I find myself in a supermarket. I'm not there for any particular reason, just doing regular food shopping. My girlfriend was having a hankering for some cookies. So we ended up in front of I think it was the Pepperidge Farms cookies. And I told her, I said, I can't look at these cookies. I'm going to go find something to do while you pick out your cookies. I said, I'll be over by the meat. So I walked over by the meat section, and I'm standing in front of all the steaks, and I saw, I think it was strip steaks, or it was just a thin, very lean, maybe this thick cut steaks, and like 7 of them in a pack. I was like, well, I heard you eat like a steak a day or something, so I'll get this. It's $10. It's a cheap way to start, and let's see what happens. Absolutely the wrong way to start this. Start this carnivore diet, educated, understanding what you're supposed to eat and when you're supposed to eat it, and find out the details. Find out how much you're allowed to eat, how much they suggest you eat. I was going into it thinking, all right, restriction, less fat, thin steaks. I'll eat one, it'll curb my meal, and I'll fight through the day like every other diet where you suffer. And I've done them all. You suffer. Calorie restriction. Oh, I got my 1,300 calories. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I gotta go 7 more hours so I can go to sleep, and then I gotta stay asleep all night with my stomach grumbling. Carb restriction, where you cut your carbs low, and you're still eating enough carbs to have carb urges, but you can't have any more carbs. It's crazy. So I bought these steaks. I started eating them. I liked that I was eating steak. I love steak. I'm a steak guy. Not everybody's a steak person. I'm truly a steak person. But I suffered. I wasn't taking enough fat. I know it sounds crazy on a diet, but I wasn't taking enough fat, and it was a struggle. I had also, I was having some back issues, and I had a toothache, and I was having headaches from the caffeine withdrawal. By the way, I had cut caffeine cold turkey. The day before, I probably drank 5 liters of soda, and then stopped on a Wednesday, I believe it was. So I'm eating, I'm suffering, I'm in pain, my tooth hurts, I'm having all kinds of food cravings. And initially, look, For me, it was, I'm not going to say for everybody. I'm going to say for me, it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks of suffering. My body wasn't used to not having the carbs. My body wasn't used to not having, I should say my mind wasn't used to not being able to just have carte blanche as far as walking into my kitchen and whatever's there, I'm going to eat. As much of it or as little of it as I wanted till my stomach was distended. I had to unbutton my pants, like all those stupid things that we all do to know we're full. So I'm suffering. And I went out and I did a little more research, but it wasn't really making sense to me. But I went out and I bought a roast beef and I cooked it and I kept it in the fridge. And anytime I got hungry, I would just go and cut a couple slices of roast beef, throw it in my mouth. And it still wasn't correct because the roast beef was a lean roast beef. And the steaks I had were lean steaks, but it was at least keeping me full. And that's, ultimately that's what you're chasing when you're eating carbs, when you're eating processed foods. You're chasing the sugar, you're chasing the carbs, you're chasing the all the different chemicals or whatever that they put in foods that come out of a box or come out of a package or wrapped in plastic. So I did it. I got the roast beef, I got the cheap steaks. Then I started to do my research and I started to understand that although I'm trying to do the right thing, I'm doing the right thing the wrong way. So I went out and I bought some chuck steaks. And I guess because I had been suffering through the the steaks without no fat, my body was in need of stuff. So as soon as I bought the chuck steaks, I was running through them at a rampant pace. I was getting the fat I needed, so I felt better. My energy came back. My appetite wasn't, well, at this point, my appetite was ravenous because my body needed the fat. So I was eating chuck steaks so frequently that I couldn't afford to stay ahead of it. And this is buying them individually. I wasn't buying 5 steaks, 10 steaks at a time. I was just I would go to the store, buy a couple of steaks and cook them. Go to the store, I was hoping that my appetite would back away and I wouldn't be spending an arm and a leg. So I watched some more videos, and then I found out that you can go to for me, there's a local supermarket. It's like a supermarket / farm stand. They get everything locally. It's called Adams Fairacre Farms. It's local to me. If you're from upstate New York, you may be familiar with it. If not, I don't think there's more than 3 or 4 stores, but I'm sure there's something similar in every state. But they buy everything locally. So I went there and I found out if you buy a big piece of meat from them, they charge you the bulk price, but they'll butcher it for you and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So I'm like, I could buy anything I want, pay the bulk price, and still come home with individual steaks. So I had them. I bought hey, if you're going to do it right, tenderloin, filet mignon. And it cost me like somewhere between $130, $140, depending on the weight of the meat. And they butchered it. I told them, leave all the fat on it. Don't touch the fat. Just cut it up. And that's what I've been living off of. It's a rough life, right? Filet mignon. So, where does that bring me? In coming up on 4 weeks now, I'm down 18 pounds. I am down, I want to say it's 4 shirt sizes because you have 2X, you have 2X, XXL, 1X, XL, and then L, which is large. So I went from 2X to a large, honestly, in probably 2 weeks, but I didn't have any large shirts to put on. But I did, at the 3-week mark, I went and bought some extra large shirts, put them on, and they didn't fit. I was like, there's no way I dropped below 2 sizes in 2 or 3 weeks, right? Well, I put the shirt on and it fit me like a sack. So my son, who's a little taller than me, he's probably about the same weight as me, but he's taller than I am. So he's in a smaller size than I am. And he had some large shirts sitting around. So he comes out and he's weight conscious. So and we help each other out with outfits. Oh, how's this look on me, Dad? Or hey, Jonathan, how's this look on me? That type of thing. And he puts a shirt on. He's like, Dad, see, look. And he tells me, this is a large. How's it look? I said, oh, it looks good on you. I said, oh, you have some large shirts? He said, yeah. I said, let me borrow one. I want to just see what size I am. I put the large shirt on, and I got like a lump in my throat. It fit perfectly. And it was a form-fitting shirt. It wasn't like one of these shirts that sits loose. It's athletic cut, so it sits tight on your body. Not like a second skin. I wasn't packing it in like a sausage. It just fit. It just fit. And my girlfriend walked in the room and was flabbergasted. And I looked in the mirror and I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It didn't look like it belonged to me. It really didn't. But, so I'm down, I think it's 18 pounds in total. I'm down 4 shirt sizes. Like I said, XX, XXL, 1X, XL, and large. Aches and pains. Like I said, I'm 48 years old now. I've had aches and pains since my 30s. They're gone. The nature of my job, I climb a lot of ladders. My knees don't hurt climbing up ladders. My legs don't hurt at the end of shifts. I work harder. My muscles aren't sore. We'll go through, a 3-4 hour stretch where you work all day, but you have a couple hours where you're really getting it. And then I used to come out of that 3-4 hour and I'd be exhausted and just fighting to get through the rest of the shift. And now I come out of the hard part of the shift, and I still got plenty left in the tank. My sleeping habits have changed. When I sleep like a rock, but I don't need as much sleep as I did before. Like I said, I work nights, and I always felt like I was working and sleeping my life away. And now I come home from work in the morning and I can go out and take my girlfriend for breakfast, or do some shopping, or do the errands that need to be done in the house. Laundry, that stuff, and I'm good. I'm awake for several hours not several, but I'm awake for quite a few hours in the morning, and then I get a couple hours of shut eye, and I'm good to go to work. So it's been nothing but positive. I feel better. I look better. You gotta understand, this video is 8 o'clock in the morning. I just rolled out of bed and decided to do this, so that all things considered, not too bad. I still got little bags under my eyes because I haven't even washed my face yet. Thank God this isn't smell tube, otherwise you'd be smelling my breath right now. When I brush my teeth, my gums don't bleed anymore. I don't know what that is, but I say it's better. I don't run out of breath. I mean, some of this is attributed to the weight loss. I get that. But I did weight loss before, and my muscles still got sore. I still had aches and pains. I still felt the age on my body, and I don't feel it anymore. So that's really the story. Oh, and I did blood work. My blood work's perfect. My blood pressure is phenomenal. 116 over 76. You can't really beat that. My heart rate is better than it's been in forever. I got COVID. My heart rate went up a few points, and it never reset itself. And now it's back to a normal heart rate for somebody my age. Actually, it's back to a normal heart rate for somebody 20 years younger than me. I think the last time I checked was 65 beats a minute, which is fantastic. My resting heart rate. The weight loss, my cholesterol's on point. It's all been good. It's all been good. I went line after line after line. My girlfriend was astonished. I was like, I'm the healthiest sick person you know. She laughed. She's like, you might be the healthy person I know. So I'm just excited. I wanted to share this with you. I do want to show you this. And the one thing that is definitely different about this diet, then flip the camera around, I still have all the junk in my cabinet. You know, my girlfriend is not doing the diet currently. She plans on it, but it's going to take her a minute. But, you know, there's some stuff that she wants in the house that she wanted to try, like the Nerds candy, which is a big no. Excuse me. Big no-no for me. Pretzels, you know, they've been in this cabinet since I started the diet, probably. These are mine. I keep these around because like I told you, I bought steaks that didn't have enough fat in them, and my energy bottomed out. And then more recently, I bought a tenderloin, and I forgot to tell the gentleman not to trim the fat, so he did. And I didn't want to, you know, he did all the work for me, and it was my mistake, so I didn't want to turn it away. So I bought these, which I don't know if they're the best thing in the world to eat. I don't plan on keeping them in the diet, but I needed the fat content, and I didn't want to buy a whole nother tenderloin, so for $2.99 at the supermarket, I got some pork rinds. And they seem to do the trick. My energy level's good. They're serving their purpose, and they are soon to go away. And then you got, you know, all the vegetables. Again, I'm not eating vegetables, but I have them. Crackers, saltines, some Nutri-Grain bars. There's pasta up there. My point in showing you all of this isn't to show you how unorganized my cabinets are. They are actually pretty organized. The point is to show you that I didn't have to do the low-carb, maniacal, get everything out of my house, throw it in the garbage, waste the food, or let me spend a week eating the food and then start this diet. Let me show you something. I can look at this, handle this, smell this all day long. I used to love them. I used to eat them a lot as a kid when they came in little boxes that you could pour into your mouth. I don't want them. It's not that I don't like them. It's not that I don't know that they'll taste good. Don't have the urge to eat them. The craving is gone. I went down to 0 carbs, and it took a little while. There was some suffering to it. I'm not going to tell you it was easy. It was one of the harder things I've ever done. But now it's easy. Now I look at this stuff, and it's like, yeah, I see it. I know it's there. I'm not interested. You know, my girlfriend makes little fruit cups all the time, and parfaits, and all different, you know, she's healthier stuff. I mean, what I guess you would consider healthy. But for me, it's not. You know, it's not something I can eat. I can't, you know, I just can't do it. It doesn't work for me. So that's the story. My cravings are gone. I walk through supermarkets, cookie aisle, potato chip aisle, ice cream aisle. It doesn't matter. I look at the stuff. I could stand there and stare at it for 3 hours. I'm not interested. It's like I was never introduced to it, and I don't know what it is. It doesn't affect me at all. That's the best way I can describe it. I believe today makes a month. I'm single-handed, but I can't adjust my calendar. But I believe I started on the 3rd Wednesday, and it's now the 3rd Wednesday. I was halfway through the day when I started, because like I said, I just started randomly. That's the way I work. I just got like, you know, I won't use the exact lingo I use, but I was looking at the steaks, and I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to start now. And I grabbed the steaks and went about my business. And to anybody paying attention, might have thought, wow, that was random. You know, that guy just out of the blue. But it took me a month to get there. I had to think about it. I had to mentally prepare for it. I had to, you know, explain to myself that it's worth doing. I had to do enough research to see that it was working for other people in similar situations to me. People have similar health problems. People have worse health problems. People have different health problems. Women, men, children. It's working for everybody. And the reports are miraculous. And look, I don't know if their reports are true. You don't know if my report is true. Try it. Jump in. Look, try it for a month. You're going to go through the 30 days anyway. Try it for a month. I'm a month in. I'm telling you, I feel great. There's days where I'll eat 3 steaks, and, you know, once in a while I'll throw some bacon in to give it, you know, a little more fat, or I'll eat the pork rinds. But some days I'll have one nice thick steak, and then I have to either remind myself to eat, or sometimes it'll be I won't be hungry for 24 hours. You know, and it's not, oh, I don't want to eat. Let me restrict my calories. Let me do it. If I get hungry, I eat. Let me show you something. This is my filet mignon. It's in here. It's ready. It's all cut up. 2 steaks per bag. I have plenty in here. I probably got a couple more in the other thing. And by the way, just so you know, ice cream, waffles, stuffed stuffed nachos, French fries, corn, hash browns, ices. I still have all the stuff in my house. If somebody comes over and wants an ice cream, I don't have to be the guy that says, "Oh no, I don't keep that in my house." Or if my girlfriend wants to have ice cream, it's not. I'm not making her suffer because I want to do something. None of this bothers me anymore. Look, I got cheesecake. I don't want it. You open my fridge. There's bread in here. There's all kinds of everything in here. My point is, after I showed you my nasty fridge, you don't have to be the maniac that throws everything away. You don't have to throw everything in the garbage. You're gonna suffer for a week or so while your body adjusts, while it gets into ketosis. I kind of try to avoid using the scientific terms because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a healthcare provider. I'm not somebody who ever did any study in any of these fields. I'm just a blue collar guy. I go to work. I shovel. I pick up. I break. I build. I don't check pulses. I don't check heart rates. I don't check cholesterol. I don't guide people on how to live their lives or eat their food. I'm just a regular guy. I work nights. I have every reason in the world to not be able to do a diet. My schedule is 100% different than what most people would consider normal. And this works for me. It's not restrictive. You get hungry, you eat. You get low on energy, you eat. Anytime you want to eat, you eat. It's almost hard to meet the calorie intake that they want. They want you, I think they're saying 1 pound or 2 of meat. That's a struggle. You'll be like, oh my God. Well, you won't be hungry. The hunger, you're just not hungry. Whether the protein shuts off your hunger or whatever it is, everything changes. Your hunger signals change. Your full signals change. I was eating steak and I'd be like, oh my God, this just doesn't taste right. I get to like the last quarter of the steak. I'm like, what? This doesn't taste right. What the hell's going on? The steak was delicious. Did she not season this part? Did she put something different on it? Because my girlfriend does most of the cooking for me. And I do some research and I run across this gentleman. He's like, hey, look, you have to learn that your hunger signals are going to change. And when you're full, the food just won't taste good anymore. You won't be able to swallow it. You'll be chewing and you got to get it out of your mouth. And he was 100% right. I eat until I'm satiated. And the way I know I'm satiated is the food doesn't taste good. It's not the Thanksgiving dinner, unbutton your pants and let your stomach breathe, because it doesn't happen anymore. You don't get the bloat in your stomach anymore. You don't get that, oh my God, I feel like I got a basketball inside my stomach. None of that happens anymore. When you're done eating, your stomach is as flat as when you started eating. Like I said, I'm doing the carnivore diet. I'm really doing what they're now Michaela Peterson coined as the lion diet. I'm not necessarily as strict as she is. She eats just beef and water and salt. I've had one time I had some chicken. One time I had some shrimp. And the reason why I do it this way is the reason why I shot with the lion diet, because for me, the shrimp was a huge cheat, right? Oh my God, you didn't eat beef. But it's still the carnivore diet. It's just not as strict as lion. So I shop for the lion, and if I stumble every once in a while and I need something different, I can have shrimp instead of popcorn or candy, but which I don't want. Again, I don't want. Maybe I jumped into the strictest version. I didn't need to, but I'm all or nothing. And my goal is to get strict on lion diet to where I don't need anything but the beef, the salt, the water. I put, everything I learned growing up was beef, salt, and water. Beef, salt, and butter is bad for you. My steak is drowned in butter. It's covered in salt. I salt the bottom of my plate. I salt the bottom of the pan. And I drink water with it. And I'm eating medium rare to rare steak. And that's all I try to eat. I say 98% of my diet so far, 99.5% of my diet, because I've only had 2 meals with other than steak in it. And they were both shrimp, and they were both protein. They were meat. 90, I would say 95.5% lion diet. I love it. I'm happy. My cravings are gone. My jawline is back. I haven't seen my jawline in 15 years. My shirts fit better. My pants fit better. I have to go to a family gathering in the next couple of days. It's not my family. It's my girlfriend's family. It's a lot of people I've never met. It's due to unfortunate circumstances, unfortunately, but I feel like I'm going there, the best version of myself that has been around in 20 years. And it's just a good feeling that my clothes fit. I go in my closet, I put a shirt on, and my biggest complaint is this shirt doesn't fit me anymore. Like this shirt I'm wearing today. The seam falls over the shoulder. It's too big. When I bought this shirt, this is a true classic tee. When I bought this shirt, it fit tight on my chest and hid my stomach. It was fantastic. Now, if I don't pull it straight, it has like folds in it. You see this? See that? That's beautiful because it doesn't fit anymore because I lost 18 pounds. And it falls off. It falls off. And when you're not seeing the difference on the scale, you're seeing it in your body. I've had a week. It's been a week or so since I've lost a pound. I don't know why that's happening, but I'm just going to ride it out. I'm not really concerned about the scale because I feel better. The scale is a nice side benefit. I want the inflammation to go away. I want my illness to go away. I want my soreness to go away. I want to be able to work harder, stronger, faster, and all those things are happening. My little kitten got out the other day, and we took off after. We have a 6-month-old kitten. And I just got curious and took off out the front door. And my girlfriend, who's always been fit, took off after it, and I took off right behind her. I didn't want to blow past her because the kitten obviously spends all day with her. He'll come to her before he'll come to me. But I was right behind her. I was on the tail, and we got the kitten. We got it back in the house. How we caught a kitten in full stride, I'll never understand. But we got it back in the house. I closed the door, and I looked at her. I was like, you know what? I'm not out of breath. If we did this 3 weeks ago, I would have been running for a seat, checking my pulse, thinking about my knees and my feet, how much they hurt, and trying to get my heart rate back under control. And I sprinted 3 buildings and then made a turn and went another building, and these are big buildings. And I was fine. It was like probably a full block sprint. So, well, anyway, that's my experience. I ran a little longer than I wanted to. We're coming up on almost 50 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Depending on how this gets received, I'll probably do another one. I'll try to do one. I'd probably say one a week, just to kind of give quick updates. Some will be shorter than this one. Some will be longer. I just wanted to give you guys a basic rundown, and feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll get back to all, if not as many as humanly possible. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of it, and enjoy your day. Give it a shot. 30 days. It'll change your life.